There's another one coming in, of course. All right, everyone, come have a seat and let's set our intention. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm coming up with all kinds of ideas. Our minds, I do know this about you, because all of our minds work the same way. They're all very busy judging and deciding things are terrible and disliking things and everybody, because that's how our minds work. This practice allows us to be mindful and present and in the moment. So every pose, you want to feel some part of your body. And I'm always identifying some part of your body every time we come to a pose to really bring your mind to. And the purpose of that is to notice how your mind works. If you put your thumb in front of you and you want to focus on something else, you can't focus on your thumb and something else at the same time. That's not how our minds work. So if we focus our minds on something, we can get away from the chatter. It's called chitta, the chatter in our minds, and we can be more present and really look and see how, what's really happening. Are we judging? Do we really know? That's what we want to ask ourselves. So today is going to be about mindfulness, presence, and of course, we always begin with our breath. So as you sit up tall, we're going to start breathing seated, and then we're going to come to standing. So as you inhale, you know what to do. Take your first few breaths, just noticing the breath as it is. And then set your intention to start deepening your breath, filling up your lungs. Maybe even in your mind's eye, see lungs that have been like deflated balloons starting to enliven with prana, with fresh air, strengthening the muscles of your lungs, getting them used to really opening and expanding. And on an exhale, you keep the sides of your body long, the integrity of your spine, and then you allow the breath to pour out through your nose all the way to your pelvic floor. And you feel a heaviness in your pelvic floor, your thighs. And then you inhale again, so that your mind that's present is in charge. Instead of it's called our ahamkara, our lowest self, our reactionary mind, because that will never take us to a good place. Until you find a rhythm of your breath. In through your nose, big and full. And then out through your nose, closing off your throat just a little bit to get a little aspirin sound in your ear. And that aspirin sound is the sound that you want to hang your mind on when you start getting distracted somewhere else. Make sure your teeth are not occluded. I could put a pencil in between your teeth. And then with this state of mind, slowly open your eyes, committing yourself to this quiet space, right? And then make your way to standing. This is called mountain pose. Your feet are grounded and you're going to press your feet down. Really press them down to lift up tall, shoulder blades back. Good. Then as you inhale, circle your arms all the way up, lifting tall. Grab your left wrist and lift. Exhale to your right. Oh, yeah. Inhale back to center. Grab your right wrist and lift. And exhale to the left. Just notice where it feels a little tight because we're just starting. Lift your heart, lift your chest, And then as you exhale, you're going to take your hands to the top of your thigh bones and exhale and just slide your fingers down your legs. Press your feet down and inhale all the way up. So just notice how that feels, shoulder blades back. Exhale, fold from the top of the pelvis, no rounded backs. And then press your feet down, lengthen your legs into your feet as if you're pressing the earth away from you as you inhale up. And then continue 2 more times, just like that. Exhale. Inhale. Oh, yeah. Exhale. Inhale. And last time. All the way up. Now you're going to widen your stance just a little bit and take your right elbow out to the right, really like this, and reach over to your left to the floor. And then inhale up. Exhale. Can you feel your right foot pressing into the earth? Keep the right foot grounded as you twist and lift. Exhale. Inhale. You can find a twist at the end of the inhale. Twist to the right. 3. Good. 2. 1. All the way up, back, and release. Now you're going to step your right foot out to the right and pivot your right toes out to the right and twist your torso towards your right. Now I want you to take your hands down the outer edge of your leg. As you exhale, you're going to fold and then inhale all the way up. You should feel it in your left hip. Exhale, left medius. This is very good for the strength of your low back. If you ever have some low back pain, this is a wonderful thing to do. Exhale. Inhale. Good. Exhale. Remember the whole breath. Inhale. Last one. Exhale. Because we're going to work on hips today, so we really want them open. Now you're going to twist, pivot your feet all the way to the right, widen your stance, and come onto the heel of your front right foot. Now blocks would be super great here. If you want to use your blocks, you're going to flex your right ankle. You can take your hands to your blocks. You can soften, I recommend that you soften both knees. So you really get into the back of your right leg. Your right heel is stuck and you're pulling it back. Your hands are on your blocks. And if you want to get a little deeper, you can start to lengthen your legs just a little at a time, being very present and mindful with your breath. Make sure your belly's engaged and just find your edge here. Find that edge. Big full breath. Ooh. If you don't feel this, I want to know. Okay, guys? Ah, good. Now step your right foot back to the floor and pivot your feet to the left so that your toes are parallel. Take your hands to your shins. Inhale all the way up. Shoulder blades back. Pivot your left toes out about 45 degrees and you're going to twist your ribs towards the left. Take your hands outside the outer left edge of your leg and then you're going to exhale. And now you're going to feel your right hip. And inhale up. Exhale, the belly's back, and your whole exhale. Hear the breath in your ears. I want to hear you through the mute. I want to hear you breathing through the mute. And we're going to take 2 more just like that. Good. Oh, yeah. Now you're going to aim your hips to the left, and you might want to widen your stance and lengthen it. And then you're going to come onto the heel, flex the heel of your left foot and soften both knees. You might want your block under your hands or under your left hand. It doesn't matter. But with your left heel, I want you to press press the left heel down and imagine you're trying to pull it back, but it's stuck. You're going to get heavy duty into the hammies, into the back of the shin. And then keeping that heel stuck and pulled back, start to lengthen both your legs long. This is where a block might be nice. And just find that edge, find that stretch. Find your breath. And see if you can stay calm and rhythmic in your breath, no matter how funky things get. This morning, I could not find a really important file for book club, and I was really upset. But I knew it was somewhere. Of course, it didn't help for my husband to keep telling me that. Okay, anyway, take your left foot to the floor. Pivot your feet through parallel. Widen your stance. Take your toes out. Make your way through a yoga squat and to seated. Good. Now you're going to take your feet to the floor in front of you. This is something new and kind of wide. We want to avoid a rounded back. So if your back is super rounded because your hips are tight, you can sit up on a block, put a block under your bum. Okay. So we're going to start first by taking our knees to the right. So when your knees drop to the right, your right foot's on top of your left shin. So let's try that first, right? Then inhale to center and drop them to the left. You might need to make a little adjustment. Good. Now we're going to continue just like this. This is super great for your hips. We're going to do that one more time just like this. And now, if you want to stay like this, please do. Otherwise, you can take a little help from your right hand and maybe come onto your shins and reach the pelvis slightly forward, open to your heart, and then come all the way back down. And change sides. This is going to get easier, believe it or not. And lift. And lower. And change sides. Good. And lift. And lower. Exhale as you change sides. Inhale, either lift or not, doesn't matter. And we're going to take one more on each side. Oh, yum. Notice how it gets easier. You might not even need your hands to come up or down anymore. I don't know. You just decide. And then make your way to table pose. Hands and knees. Good. And into cat and cow. Yeah. Some nice cats and cows. So it's a big flexion and a big extension in your spine. You look at your belly, draw the belly back, and catch. You lower your belly and reach forward and cow. And then just take a few more here. Now this is something you can do without me. This is really good. Curl your toes under and take your hips back and just make a half moon with your hips. Just make sure you're getting deep. So your hips should feel really juicier than they would be had we not done what we done. So we're not going to spend too much time here. Now extend your right leg out to the right, stepping your right foot down, and circle your arms all the way up. Big full breath. Exhale your right hand down your right leg. Good. Inhale back to center. And now again, you might want your block out to your left and take your hand to your block or to the floor and reach. You do you, right? Press your right foot down to the left. Now imagine your left thigh bone is granite and it's heavy into the earth. And notice how that makes the experience a little different. Inhale. Exhale by just being present. Feel the earth beneath your right foot. And it does feel different for me. One more time, right and left. Good. Then back to center. Lift your heart. Now you're going to tip the top of your pelvis forward. Take your hands to the floor. You know how to do this. Curl your left toes under. So check out your left tip toes. So Laura and Barb, you're new, and Kathy V, you should know this by now. But I just want you to just notice at first, there's no rush. And then roll your inner thigh bones back as your bum reaches. The left sit bone reaches towards your left heel and soften your heart. Nice. Big full breath. This night might not feel as difficult as it usually is because you were warmed up a little different way. Good. Then come back to center. Step your right foot just outside your right hand. Again, the left thigh bone is gorgeous rose quartz granite from Italy, and it's heavy and it's reaching down. Press your right foot down. Be present as you circle your arms all the way up. Bend your right elbow, tapping your right shoulder. Here you are in this moment. Take your left hand to your right elbow and just coax your elbow closer to your head and down your back as you lift your heart. And maybe you come a little bit deeper and find a little pulse here. Exhale and inhale. Exhale and inhale. Last two. Feel the back thigh bone really grounding you and lifting up. Extend your arms long, nice. Exhale your left hand to the floor or a block. And roll your left ribs to the right. You can even take your right hand to your left waist and roll the left ribs manually to the right as you extend your right arm up. And then lean back, open it up, find that breath, your breath. Now, once again, the left thigh bone is grounded. The right foot presses to the earth and supports you as you come all the way up. Bring your palms together to your heart center. You can stay upright, or you can take your left elbow outside your right thigh and really reach the right outer hip back. And lean back and open it up and draw the belly back. Nice. Exhale, gaze down, take your hands to the floor and make your way into your lunge as you lift the back left knee up and down. And because your hips are pretty juicy, maybe you'll be able to step right into your right foot and step your left foot forward into a forward fold. Good. Once again, step your left foot back into a lunge. And then with the belly back and really stepping your right foot into the earth, the ball of the right foot, the heel of your right foot, maybe you can lift the left leg beside your right forward fold. Nice. Inhale, circle your arms all the way up. Good. Exhale, palms together to your heart center. And release. Nice. Inhale, circle your arms all the way up. Take the left wrist lift and over to the right. Inhale back to center. Take your right wrist and lift. Exhale to the left. Oh. And all the way to center. Open your heart. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look halfway up. Exhale and step back to the plank, either with your knees up or down. This is super important that you know what's good for your shoulders. And then you're just going to lift and lower your belly. So the belly draws back. Exhale. Exhale. So there's an inhale down. Good. Belly back. Now I want you to lower your knees. Everybody lower your knees. And slowly roll your thigh bones to the floor. You're going to soften your elbows. And notice if you're happy to have your elbows out and wide. I want your elbows aiming to the back corners of your mat. And your hands behind your upper ribs. This is alignment. Press your fingerprints down. Imagine they're stuck and you're pulling them back and already you're in your shoulders. And you don't have to go any further. If you choose to, you can make your way into a cobra from here. Nice and aligned. Good. Just move side to side. Take an inhale. Exhale. Again, we're going to work into our lower body a bit. So let's start right here. Curl your toes under and let your knees hover if it's available to you. If it's too much, keep your knees on the floor. It doesn't matter, right? But if you can hover, I want you to take your right leg back and then back to hover. And then your left leg. Inhale. Exhale. So this is for your core. Exhale. Good. Let's do 3 more on each side. 1, 2. Last one, 3. Good. And make your way into down dog. And walk your dog. Notice your breath. Now, you don't want your weight dumping into your wrists. So if you can, spin your hands out slightly away from each other and press your weight into your fingerprints, as if you're getting fingerprinted onto the mat. Good. Good. Oh, and lower your knees to the floor. Excellent. Now, extend your left leg directly out to the left. You might want your block on the right side of your body. I don't know. You'll decide. And circle your arms all the way up. So your shoulders have already been hugged back. You lift your heart. And side bend to your left. Inhale to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale. Can you hear the full breath? Can you feel the weightiness of your right thigh bone reaching to the earth so it really lifts you? 2 more on each side, really present, feeling the whole pose. Good. Then back to center, lifting your heart. And now you're going to start to tip from the top of the pelvis, no rounded backs. The top of the pelvis and the belly are engaged. And then take your hands to the floor. Curl your right toes under. Roll your inner thigh bones back. And start to sit back on your right heel. Oh, yeah. Sit as far back as it feels nice and edgy. And then lower your heart, lower your chest. Lift your armpits if you can. You can even come onto your fingertips to lift your arm bones and your elbows. And you'll get the shoulder blades back that way too. You find a beautiful, beautiful breath here. Yeah. Then make your way back to center and step your left foot just outside your left hand. Good. Now step your left foot down and the right thigh bone is pressing, growing heavy into the floor so you can really lift up and you don't feel tippy at all. Yeah, being present helps. Now you're going to bend your left elbow, tapping yourself on the shoulder, and take your right hand to the left elbow, drawing your elbow close to your head and back behind you. And then as you exhale, you're going to find that pulse. Inhale up, exhale. Inhale back. Exhale. Inhale. Oh yeah, you might find a little tightness in your low back. You're going to honor that and notice that. One more. All the way back. Extend your arms up. Exhale your right hand to the floor and your left arm out to the left. Now you can take your left hand and manually roll your right ribs over to the left. You'll get a little deeper twist and just notice that. Lean back, press your left foot down, and remember the right thigh bone is grounded. You really want to be present here because the more you can ground down, the more you'll lift all the way up. Take your palms together and either take your right elbow outside your left thigh or not, it doesn't matter. Open it up, taking the thigh bone back, your heart open. Big full breath here. Oh, yum. I love that. And gaze down. Take your hands back to the floor. Curl your back right toes under and lift and lower your hips. But just find that lift and lower. Now your hands can be on your blocks here, guys. Now you're going to step into your left foot and then step your right foot beside your left. Forward fold. And then you can step your right foot back again. So there's a little balance, a little sense of it's not really what we do. Let's try it again. Hands on your blocks or on the floor. Step into your left foot. And then lift the belly to step your right foot beside your left, forward fold. Oh, yeah. Inhale now, take your hands up your shins, look halfway up, lift the belly, and then exhale, fold, fold, fold. Press your feet down. Feel as if your whole leg is growing down into the earth. And that's going to lift your belly. Inhale, circle your arms all the way up. Exhale, palms together to your heart center. And release. I hope you guys are standing up tall. I'm not sure about these new yoga pants, though. Ugh. Okay. Okay, guys, bend your knees deep. Take your arms back so it's a little bit for our triceps, but it's low body during the week. So lift the belly, lift the pelvic floor, yeah, and find a full breath in your ribs, in the back, your upper back. The more your shins come forward, the more your hips draw back. And there's new people here I can't see, but there's a tendency for new people to take the pelvis forward. And I want to avoid that. Oh, yeah. You feel that? Good. And then circle your arms up. Good. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look halfway up. Exhale, step back to plank. And then lower either your knees or your chest first. Make sure your hands are where they should be. And then into cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Good. Check in with your breath. There's no rush. Then inhale, lift your right leg up behind you. You can come onto the tiptoes of your left foot. Right? Then take your left foot down and step your right foot forward, coming onto the tiptoes of your left foot. Now, the more you press your feet down and lift the belly up, the more stable you'll be, the more present you'll be. So let's give that a go. All the way up. Good. Lift your heart, lift your chest. Now you're going to bend your left knee so that it just kind of hovers, taking your right hip back. And then extend your back left leg long. And now you're going to tip forward, open your heart. And inhale back to center. Exhale. And inhale. Exhale. And inhale. I'm going to do it 4 times. Exhale. Nice. And all the way up and into warrior 2. So just pivot your left foot toward the long edge of your mat. Make sure your right toes are towards the short edge of your mat. Arms to T. I'm just going to turn around to be with you guys. Good. But stay deep. Stay deep. Now take your left arm over to the right. Really come deep. Look at your right foot. Really be present. I'm going to be mindful in this moment. And then inhale, take your left elbow back and open. Exhale once again. Inhale. 2 more times. Last one. See if you can stay low. Take your right forearm to your right thigh, really lifting the right ribs up and rolling the right ribs forward. And then maybe you'll extend your left arm forward, but stay low in your hips and feel this, feel the sensations. And just be there with it. Good. Exhale, gaze down, take your hands to the floor. Now I want you to shorten your stance and widen your feet. So your feet are on railroad tracks, not a tightrope. And your feet are closer together. Now you might want your hands on blocks here. You'll see. Because what I'd like you to do is take your right outer hip and really reach it back. So the right outer hip draws back and you're going to lengthen both your legs long right into the ball of the big toes, the inner and outer heels, and just notice how that feels. Oh, yum. I'm hoping you're feeling as yummy as I do. You're getting right into those hammies. Then step into your right foot, lift your left leg all the way up. This is called a standing split. Lift the belly, soften your heart. Now, if you really step into your foot, And you can really find that center. Maybe you'll take your hands off the floor. It's always a possibility. Exhale your left foot beside your right, forward fold nice. Bend your knees deep and circle your arms all the way up. Utkatasana, fierce warrior. Good. This time take your palms together, twist to your right, and you can take your elbow outside the thigh bone, but keep the left hip back. So even though you're going to the right, you don't want your left hip going to the right, right? Good. Inhale back to center. And now try the other side. Notice how your right hip wants to go for the ride. You're going to keep the right hip back. And open it up. Oh, yum. And all the way back to center. Glorious. Shins forward, bum back, right? Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look halfway up. Exhale, step back to plank. Now, if you want to come right to dog, that's where we're going to end up. Otherwise, you can take what's called a half vinyasa, and you lower. You make your way into cobra or up dog. And then you end up in down dog. Good. Inhale, lift your left leg up behind you. Oh, yeah. Come onto the tiptoes of your right foot. Then step your right foot to the floor and extend, step your left foot forward, pressing your left foot down. The right inner thigh is extending. And then you can, without talking, you can come all the way up, maybe feeling not so tippy, and circle your arms up. Good. Bend your right knee. So this is for the right quad. But take the left hip back. Notice all that space. Then extend the back inner thigh. Stay low. And dip forward. Good. And then inhale. And then exhale. And then inhale. And then exhale. Ooh, nice. Was that 4, guys? Let's do one more. All the way up. Good. And into warrior 2. Pretty amazing. Now make sure your back front heel, if I drew a line from the front heel, it would bisect your back right foot. Good. Arms to T, right shoulder back. Now you're going to take your right arm over to the left. Stay low, look inside. Where are you thinking? Be present. And then inhale, right elbow back, and extend. And continue like that. Exhale. Inhale. 2 more times. Exhale. Inhale. Oh, beautiful. So now your right shoulder is back. Take your left forearm to your left thigh. You can even roll manually your left ribs to the right and find your way. Stay low in the hips. And notice how edgy this is, even though we do this all the time. Your right elbow's back or to your right hip or over your ear, depending on what your right shoulder allows. But you're listening and you're breathing and you're staying low. Good. Exhale your right hand to the floor. Step back to dog. And then lower your knees to the floor and make your way into child pose. So your knees are wide, your big toes are together, and you're going to take your hips back. Now, the purpose of what we're doing now is to strengthen our gluteus medius, our maximus, and this is going to help support our low back. You'll see where we'll go. So come back to table, but this time you're going to come onto your forearms. Shoulder blades hug together, the belly's back, right? Make sure your knees are beneath your hips. And then you're going to keep the right knee bent, but imagine there's a block on the sole of your foot, you're flexing your ankle. Exhale, now take your knees back together. And then I'm sure exhale up, inhale up. I got it right. Exhale, right knee to the left. Good. This shouldn't take long for it to be a real pain in the butt. I got in trouble with my daughter Because I told my grandson he's got to quit being a pain in the butt to his sisters. Oh, brother. You don't have to do too many of these, so we're going to just do 4 more. 4, 3, 2. So I don't want your head up. I want your head in line with your neck. 4. Take a few pulses here. I'm only looking up and forward so I can look at you. But I want your neck to be in line, your ears to be in line with your shoulders. And extend your right leg back and reach your right heel toward the floor. Get a nice stretch. You're even going to take your bum out toward the left and get a nice stretch in the left hip. Big breath. Same right leg. Now you can take your right leg out to the right and back to center. Out to the right and center, only 8 times. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Don't worry about if you want to take a break. Now with your left leg out to the left, take your right hand out to the right. This will give you a little bit more stability because your left hip's going to be a little fried. And now I want you to take your right toes and kind of roll them to the floor. And you'll feel it right in that right hip pocket. Yeah, so this might not be good for Kathy Shervelli. You know what to do. And then you're going to just pulse with your right toes aiming to the floor and pulse up, 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 up. Good. Ready to start count? 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Can you hold it? Can you hold it? Oh, and release. Oh, yeah. And just make your ways into some cats and cows. Maybe taking your hips back. Isn't that great, guys? I hope you're loving it as much as I am. Okay. So now you know where we're going on the other side, right? Your knees beneath your hips, your hands just forward to your shoulders. And you're going to bend your left knee, keep it at 90 degrees, and you're going to flex your ankle so that it feels like you're holding a cup of tea on your foot, right? Ready? Exhale, lower, and inhale. So you really want it to feel you're in your bum, in your maximus. Your arms are nice and long and strong, like pillars. And it shouldn't take long before it's really, you feel the burn. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, and find some little pulses up, 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 up. So you really want to be present because your arms are long, your knees lifted. Good. And release. Good. Now you're going to come on your forearms, right? And you're going to take your left leg back and just get a nice stretch. Yeah. And now you're going to take your left leg out to the left and back. Inhale in and exhale out. Have those medius, the outer hip, in mind, staying present so you can really work every pose to its most greatest advantage. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now you're going to roll your left toes toward the floor and pulse it up, up, up. Now, if you want, you can take your left hand out to the left and just, that might give you some more support. I kind of like doing that. Good. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it. And release. Oh, yeah. And then come back to table. and into down dog. Let's just clear it all out in dog. And then walk your dog. And notice your breath. Then walk your feet to your hands. Come back to that forward fold. And find your breath in case you've forgotten it. Now you're going to widen your feet almost as wide as your mat, maybe about as wide as your mat. And you're going to take your right hand, identify it, to your left shin. And you're going to coax your left shin in as if you're pulling your shin to the left, but your feet are going to stay where they're at and widen out, as if you're trying to widen the mat with your feet. Now you can take your right hand in front of you and look under your right armpit. But I want you to keep your right outer hip really drawing back. Get a nice stretch in your right hip. And that's what I'm looking for. Nice stretch in the right hip. Because we just kind of fired a lot of stuff up. Good. And now you're going to cross your hands, grab both your shins, pull your shins in with your hands, but your feet are widening the mat. So you'll feel it again in your IT band, your outer hips, belly lifts, full breath. Good. Hold it in. Good. Now you're going to take your left fingertip to the floor. And now you're going to coax your left shin to the midline, but your feet are going to widen and look under your left armpit. Good. Just look under the left armpit. Oh, yummy. And back to center. Spin your toes out, make your way through a yoga squat. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And all the way to your bum, because I got much more to do down here. Good. So if you do have a block, let's use it for our core work. So you strengthen your back body. Let's work on the core. So now I'm inviting you to find a C shape in your low back. It's kind of like a cat. The more you squeeze that block, the more you'll feel the engagement of the core and the pelvic floor. So the pelvic floor, really important, the integrity of it to our organs. So let's do that. Okay. Now first we're gonna do upper. So flex your feet, heels to the mat. Imagine your heels are stuck and you're trying to pull them back. Keep the squeeze in the block. Now you can keep your hands around your shins. That's great. So as you inhale, you're going to lift, you're going to lower. And then as you exhale, you're going to pull your heels back. The heels pull back, lifting you up, and you'll feel it in the lowest abdominals and pelvic floor. Ready? Inhale, and then exhale. Inhale. Now, if you want to use your arms, if you don't need them around your shins, that's fine. If you do, also fine. If you don't want to do it at all, also fine. But I just want to be sure we get the whole area. Squeeze the block, squeeze it. 5, 4, 3, 2. Remember, your heels are pulling you back. You're staying present. 1. Oh, and release. Now, I don't mean release so much. Just stay where you're at, but just give a little release in the core. But now you're going to take your hands behind you, elbows soft, spine rounded. And we're going to take 5 exhales through your mouth. With every exhale, your belly draws back and stays back. With every inhale, you inhale through your upper chest, right? So let's do that. Ready? 5 breaths. Right? Now, you're gonna keep the belly back, exhale to lift your thighs towards your chest. So now squeeze the block again. So we've been working core the whole practice. This just spotlights it, not only in our minds, but with our breath, and that's where the prana will go when we spotlight any one particular place. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's hold it, hold it, hold it. And release. Oh my goodness. Release your block. Good. And draw your knees to your chest. Good. Now, you're going to take your feet in front of you and bend them onto the mat. And why? This should look very familiar and feel familiar too, but it might feel easier now. Again, if your back is very rounded at all, sit up on something, please. A cushion, a blanket. Yeah. Good. Ready? Now you're gonna windshield wiper your legs to the right. And then inhale to the left. This is good for your pelvis. All right. And maybe you won't need your hands to the left. Now to the right. Take your shins to the floor and maybe you can, come all the way up. And come down. And all the way to the left. Oh, nice, Susie girl. To the left. And lift. Oh, you can go right from the core. Good. And all the way back down. So now we're going to come to the right. Listen careful. Your right shin is in front of you. You want to take your right shin in front of you. We're coming into pigeon on the right. So if you usually do pigeon on your back, please do so. So I'm going to show the new people. First, pigeon A. You're going to keep your right shin in front of you. Extend your left leg to the left. And just kind of roll your left leg behind you until your left leg is in line with your left hip. Good. Check it out. Then you inhale, lift your heart, and you soften right into a pigeon that's going to feel very good today. Okay, so Laura and Barb, my new people, here's another option. You can cross your right ankle over your left thigh, laying on your back, and come into pigeon on your back just by holding the back of your left shin. This is also awesome. Efficacy-wise, it's the same thing. And they both look very cool, I assure you. So you find your way. Good. Take a few more breaths in this beautiful, beautiful pose. Close your eyes and see if you can stay present and mindful. The thoughts that come into your mind, look at them. Are they reasonable? Are they judgment? Are they something on your to-do list? It'll come back to you. Don't worry. Just be here. Good. Now, wherever you're at, come onto your right hip and take your left leg back in front of you. Left leg back in front of you. And the sole of your right foot is high up in your left thigh, right? Now walk your left outer hip back just enough to get the left belly back, thigh bones to the floor. Inhale, circle your arms up, aiming towards your left knee. Flex your left foot, lift up tall. And now tip forward. Now here's another thing I've seen. Do not feel like you have to grab your foot. It doesn't matter where your hands go. What matters is your breath and your alignment. So you want the thigh bones grounded, your left heel to the floor, and just find your way. And just see where you go. That's awareness and presence. And take about 3 breaths here. Nice. Press your thigh bones down to lift all the way back. Very nice. Take your feet back to the floor and wide. And then let's find those windshield wipers. Just a little windshield wiper with or without in your hands. And then you're going to drop your knees to the left. Take your left shin in front of you and find your way into your pigeon on the left. So you can extend your right leg out to the right and reach it back behind you, rolling your right knee to the floor, or come onto your back with the left ankle over your right thigh. And then make your way into, oh yeah, your pigeon. So I might even adjust my foot forward just a little bit. And then soften your hips with every breath. Notice where you're holding stuff. Just be present here with your breath. Take 2 more breaths here. Then walk your hands back onto your left hip. Swing your right leg in front of you. Take the sole of your left foot high up into your right thigh. And kind of roll my inner thigh bones back. Even walk your right outer hip back. So you can really get the right side of your belly back. Good. Inhale, circle your arms all the way up. And then exhale, keeping your thigh bones grounded. Do not worry where your hands go. Just close your eyes and find where you can find the most grounded place. Good. And find your breath. One more big full breath here. And inhale all the way back up to center. Draw your knees to your chest. Give yourself a hug. Round your back. And come all the way to lying on your back. Draw your knees to your chest and just make some circles with your knees away from each other. But stay with the breath. Take your arms to T and drop your knees to the right. Oh, get a nice twist. Reach your left hip away from your left shoulder. Roll your shoulder girdle to the left. Take a big inhale. Yeah. Every time you do that, you're exercising your lungs. Now take your left arm over to the right. Just reach over and get a nice stretch in your shoulder. And then inhale all the way back. Good. Now come back to center. And I like to move my hips over to the right. Lift your knees and drop them to the left. And then reach your hips forward, your right hip away from your right shoulder. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Roll your shoulder girdle to the right. Now take your left arm and no, your right arm and reach it over to the left. Sorry, right arm to the left. That felt right. And then open it up like a revelation. Here you are. Big open breath. Feeding only the thoughts that are worth feeding. Asking yourself about the other ones. And you'll know because they won't feel good. Thoughts that don't feel good, you want to really look at them and ask, what are you? All right, sorry. Come back to center. Take your feet to the floor. Lift your bum and just going to reach your bum forward as you release your hips back to the floor. Take your arms to the side, your palms up, shoulder blades together. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth and right into Shavasana. And take rest. Allow your entire body to be like a corpse, dead weight into the earth. And just follow your breath in and out. Start rolling your wrists and your ankles. Inhale, extend your arms up over your head. Exhale through your mouth. Ah, yeah. Draw your knees to your chest and roll to your right side. And be there, just be there. Notice how you feel. Notice the peace, the quiet. Maybe even a little humming. It might be like a little humming in your body. And then come to a seat on your mat. And bring your palms together to your heart center. Life, when everything was normal, gave us minds that were full of what we call chitta vritti, a crazy mind, a monkey mind. Now it's even more opportunity to let it go nuts. But if we are present and mindful, if you spend time just thinking, how does it feel in my body? Where are my feelings? You'll see that a lot of it doesn't have to be stressful or anxiety ridden. Yeah, it's just our minds wrecking havoc again. So remembering that together, because we're all like that. The light in me honors that light in you. Namaste. Let me undo the recording, guys.